We don't have words for sound. We have to use metaphors. If you're talking about a singer, it's a bright sound, or he's got a very heavy or gravelly voice. We have to make up visual, tactile words for sounds because we don't even know how to talk about sound. It's so much a part of us. It hits way down in our limbic system. Humans have organized on sound from the get-go. For instance, Stonehenge. The new research just out this past year is that they knew that they had taken the stones, they identified them from 200 miles away from Wales and brought them into Stonehenge. And particularly the inner circle of stones, huge stones, they're tons of tons. And so 2,000 years ago to 3,000 years ago, bringing these, this is a big deal, to move these stones. They still don't know how they did that, probably on barges, moving them up. For some reason, they found that the ridge they come from in Wales, if you tap the stones, they sound like metal. And you can hear the dong, go on the internet and look for the stone. Dong, dong, they have tones. And they can see where they've hit on the stones. They were this round, they played them in some way. We don't know what the frequencies were, and there's probably a lot more we can learn about that. There was a theory that the cave paintings around the world, that there were sound anomalies happening where those cave paintings were. A music ethnologist and a scientist that would go into these cave painting caves, got permission to go in, and they would go in and he would tap on stones, they'd do voices and things, and in way he's heard primitive people do, he'd do that, and wherever he would hear the sound do something, like it would echo, it would be a standing up. There's a lot of places there was like flocks of birds where you tap a rock and it goes. Or sometimes the voice would come back and be delayed and come back in a changed way. So they would find these standing waves wherever they did that. And they're doing this in total darkness. So they're just listening. And whenever they turned on the flashlight, 80% of the time, that's where the cave paintings were. When they began to create temples, and this is around the world, they were very much sound caves. They were Buddhist bowls, Buddhist chanting. When I went into the Vatican this past summer, happened to be there, I'd never been there before, I got in the middle of the place and I knew I could only do it one time. And the loudest sound I can do is one from the body, it's whoo! And I did that in the Vatican. And the whole place turns around. But you do it under that dome, and you would think that it's the voice of God, because his is, I had to hear it. How do you call people to any kind of assembly? You had to have something sonic to do that. So in the Middle Ages in Europe, and all over the Western cultures, was a clock tower. That they would, if you were a wealthy town, you'd get a clock and you'd have bells in it. Not always was a clock, usually just bells, you would pull, and people would know. So the definition of the city or a parish was as far as the bells would carry. That's the definition. It still is, and very much the towns were based off sound. I'll do an experiment to show you how much sound is around you. I'm going to write down something on this card right here. I'll put it down right here. Now, what I want you to do, this is an app that is a tuner, right? All right, so I'm going to ask you to be absolutely quiet for about 10 seconds. I'm going to lower my hand, and don't do anything now. Don't make a sound, because I don't want you to tip it. And all of you, exactly when it comes right here, I want you all to hum a note, the first note that comes into your head. Just hum it pretty strongly if you can, all right? All right? Now, just quiet. Okay. What does that say?
B.
B. Now, how did I know that? In Europe, they would hum an A flat. Here we have 60 cycle current. This is a room full of 60 cycle current. Hear that fan? Oh. You have to really get away from buildings. You can't in New York City. There's just so much buzzing in New York City. And just other sound would distract you too. But that's a part of our bass line.